Being that it's 3:30, we will call the Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department Oversight Board to order with a roll call vote of Mr. Helgeson.
Here.
Mr. Maloney.
Here.
Mr. Zugami.
Here.
Mr. Jablonski.
Here.
And Ms. Clark.
Here.
Item number 2, appointment of chairman and vice chair along with terms.
What are the terms now?
The terms currently are with Helgeson, Maloney, Jablonski, and Zugami will then bump down to a 1-year term, with then Clark moving up to the 2-year term.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion to select a chairman?
I nominate Helgeson for chair. Second.
Motion by Maloney, second by Jablonski to nominate Mr. Helgeson as chair for the Oversight Board. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Take over now.
Right.
And then we'll post there.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a motion to name the vice chair for the Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department Oversight Board.
I'll move Mark Maloney as a vice chair.
Second.
Motion was made by Zugami for Mark Maloney, second by Jablonski. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Announcements and statements from the audience. Any? Chip?
Mr. Chair, good afternoon, Jim Fenton, 5002 Earl Street, Weston. I wanted to thank the Mountain Bay Police Department for their outstanding response and commitment to our community. Last week, when tragedy struck, they were one of the first agencies on the scene to assist the residents with fallout from a significantly destructive tornado. Without hesitation, they utilized their skill sets, training, and equipment to immediately answer the call and utilize every tool in their toolbox to assist. They worked tirelessly in the pouring rain and darkness to ensure everyone was safe and assisted neighboring emergency response teams, facilitating the well-being of residents. Their efforts continued throughout the weekend with traffic control and other measures, providing much needed safety and security for those who were left literally nothing. Rest assured, when the call is made for help, this department will be there no matter what. I'm also eager to see what updates the Oversight Board has this evening on the building project. I'd like to see this Oversight Board begin telling the story, as I mentioned before, about the needs of the department to the community. Share some of the wins and the high points. Make it make sense to the taxpayers how efficient and responsible operations are here, and how a new headquarters be yet just another positive improvement to the team. Transparency is key in this effort. To date, a very limited amount of information has been shared publicly, and I urge this Oversight Board to change that. Get information out on social media, hold a town hall meeting, put information out there so the public for the public to have to build support for this project instead of building resentment after the building was built and they were unaware of any of the steps leading up to its creation. Ask any resident in the village of Weston how they feel about their involvement with the construction of the Garage Mahal, and I assure you, they're still unhappy about how the execution of that played out. Finally, I'd like to commend the department for coordinating the rabies vaccine clinic held at the village of Weston for all communities. It's just yet another example of how they continue to make the extra effort to positively impact every aspect of our neighborhoods. Policing is more than just writing tickets, and this department has done an outstanding job engaging with the community and demonstrating just that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Are there any other comments or statements from the audience? Seeing none?
Anybody online that would like to speak?
No one? Moving on to agenda item number 4, minutes of previous meetings. Oversight Board meeting minutes of March 12th, 2026. Do you see any changes, corrections, additions to the minutes? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion by Maloney, second by Zugami. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item number 5, acknowledgement presentation of Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department 2025 audit. Chief or Ryan?
We have Scott on. Scott's our auditor. Scott, go ahead.
No. All right. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, my name is Scott Sternhagen. I'm with CLA. We completed the audit. We were on site, I believe, in the beginning of March, and everything went well from the audit. Kind of just touch on some financial highlights, and then we'll kind of open for any questions or any comments. But just briefly, the audit, like as I mentioned, the audit went really well. Unmodified opinion. Nothing to be alarmed of. I think there might have been a finding that we prepare the financial report. And that's probably about it. I'm assuming. Oh, we did have another finding for adjustments to the financial records. So nothing alarming there from, you rely on us as your auditors to prepare the report and prepare some closing entries. So again, thanks to Melanie. We deal with her mainly, but we do have some discussion with Jeremy as well to complete the audit. So obviously it's the second year of Mountain Bay Metro being in existence. 2024 was the first year, so the numbers were kind of, I don't want to say skewed, but it was tough to look at those numbers and really see to get a picture of Mountain Bay Metro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start with and Ryan, are you the one scrolling?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you can go to page 11, we'll kind of go on that one.
Okay.
So this is a very this is a summary of your expenses and revenues for Mountain Bay Metro for the year with the budget to actual. So as you can see, the total revenues on the middle of the page were $6,913,294, which was up $230,000 from budget. Mainly, that was due to, as you can see, the miscellaneous line, and that miscellaneous line there was a large contribution from. I'm going to get this wrong, but the previous fire or police department, that would be DC or
First Metro.
Yeah, they sold their cars and contributed that money to Mountain Bay in 2025. So that was the big driver of that. So other than that, your revenues were fairly well projected from your budget and right on. I think that was $125,000 of sales. Then there were some insurance recoveries and some donations. That was the big driver of that 230. There. Expense wise, $6.6 million, which was fairly close to budget, $69,000 to budget, bringing your fund balance at the end of the year for Mountain Bay Metro to $430,000. Let's just call it. So a good year for Mountain Bay Metro. I mean, what I can see is, from a budget standpoint, you're pretty much on point with your revenues and expenses. Fines and forfeits, that's still, I think that was budgeted, but that's not flowing through right now that way. But we always look at what is your fund balance to expenses, and right now Mountain Bay Metro at the end of 2025 has 6.5% of their expenditures in fund balance, which is a little low, but because you are, a police, just a police force, you're probably not looking at that 20 to 30% of normal municipalities. But that is a little low. There's no excess cash by any means for the police department. If anything, if a couple squads got totaled or something, and you had to purchase some squads right away and wait for that insurance proceeds, depending on the time of year, that cash could be somewhat tight. But again, second year existence, first full year in existence. I think from an audit standpoint, the department's running well from what I saw. But again, like I said, that fund balance is probably a little lower. I know you're talking about some future capital, and how that fits.
Excuse me, I have a question. So if a municipality should be about 30%, what should a police force be at? If 6% is low, what should the police department be? 10%, 15%?
I would think anywhere from that 10 to 15%. Yes.
Okay.
That's probably a good recommendation, but it's really up to the oversight board, you guys,
Yep.
to determine where you want that to be. Because obviously your main expense is payroll. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, payroll and benefits, right? That's the main expense of the department. I mean, I think wages and benefits, when I look at it, is $5.4 million of that 6.6. So, there's not a lot of unforeseen expenses, but there could be. So that's why I don't think you need to be as high, right? Because it's really payroll. So yeah, that's kind of really where you're at from a fund balance analysis. If you go up a page, Ryan, one more after that. This would, oh, sorry, one more. That page shows your other funds. You created a K9
Page is that
donation
right?
fund.
We're on
Sorry.
page 8. Yep.
Go down really quick. Sorry, I kind of forgot about this one.
Go to page 9. Page 9.
Yeah, right there. The non-major governmental funds. You have two non-major governmental funds that were set up in 2025. K9 donations and DARE donations, and that's what those are right there. So that 119,000 is really there for those two areas. The K9 was about 93,000 of that, and DARE was about 26,000. So those are the non-major governmental funds, which is great because you're segregating those donations for those specific purposes as well. So I just kind of forgot about that. But Ryan, if you go then up to page 7, sorry. This is your balance sheet. You can see at the end of the year, $830,000 in cash, but you have accounts payable of 195 and then accrued liabilities of 232. That would be accrued payroll. So from a liquidity standpoint, it looks like you have, $830,000 of cash, but probably in, early January, that number went down by about 425,000. So, kind of where your fund balance is at.
But the fund balance of the 429,000 includes those committed funds of the 118 of the
No.
27. Okay.
Nope. If you look down, just what Ryan's showing you right now, you can see that 429 is just the general fund of the
Yep. Thank you.
police department. The 118 is segregated into
Non-governmental.
Yep.
non-major. So, yep. So the 429, 430,000, that is just really what we call general fund, or in this case, the operations of the police department.
So really, Scott, to sum it up, Ryan again with Rothschild, really to sum it up, if we continue on as the police department was established right from the get-go back in 2024, if we continue that trend and knock on wood that things continue to go well, we're sitting in a fiscally sound and responsible position to continue to move forward and seek a potential option for a building per se, or at least we have the influx of a net position where we're comfortable with what we're doing, and those growth factors that we have built in are sufficient enough for what we need to continue to do.
For 2025, you can see, like, as I mentioned, your fund balance did go up. I didn't look at your 26 budget. Well, I did look at it, but I don't know if off the top of my head, what you're projecting for 26 as well. But yeah, that would be something that you have to look at. How does our 26 budget look? Are we able to, afford debt payments, or however that's going to be funded, into the future for this? And depending on what you're paying for rent, or I think, are you paying rent to Rothschild? I should know that.
No.
Okay. So I don't know if that rent goes away, so that's not going to go away. But I mean, like I said, your fund balance went up in your first full year of operations. What did I say? Almost $300,000. So there is some play there. Absolutely. But some of that was, in a way, one-time money that you might not get with those, that contribution from DCE.
I just have one quick question, Jeremy, here. So When you're talking about our budget though, what type of window would you like to see? Like a 3-year budget? You keep talking about a new entity and 1 full year. How many years would you feel comfortable with? To look at that?
I would think at the end of 2026,
Okay.
because you started 24, 4 to 5 months into the year. 25 was a full year, and then 26 as well was a full year. So you're gonna get a good comfort spot with that, for sure.
Any questions? Discussion? Good. Very good, Scott. It looks that the fund balance, if you had a goal of reaching 15%, that'd be $992,000. A 10% would be $660. Now, an estimated time frame of getting there, Chief, I would say the $660 would be within a 2-year reach.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
Right,
unless there's something outside of something going wrong. And the 15% would be in a reach of about 4 years, roughly. So I think it's going pretty smoothly, other than telling us something different.
Can't predict the unpredictable though, so.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Scott.
Have a good night.
Good.
We'll just need a motion to acknowledge the audit presentation.
Yes.
Motion to acknowledge presentation of the Mountain Bay Metro Police Department 2025 audit.
Second. Motion by Maloney, second by Jablonski. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item number 6, budget to actual. Actually, we went through all that with.
Not the current one.
Oh,
That was
okay.
25.
Anything you want to touch on immediately?
No concerns. We're a quarter way through the year with this one, so a lot of them are at that mark, especially wages and fringes, which we like to watch really close. Some things are top heavy, meaning beginning of the year heavy, so it looks a little skewed, but usually evens out unless something comes up, but.
Thank you, Melanie. Any questions for Melanie? Anything to see?
I just have one other comment.
Go ahead.
Our service contracts is going to change a little bit. So when we took on these flock cameras, now we just added our other 2 flock cameras. So that's one of the reasons why that contract services or service contract still looks a little heavy in there, but we will make up for it in other areas as it goes along. But just so we see it next month, Nick will talk about that when it comes up. But just one point in there why it is what it is. So.
Very good.
A lot of conversation about flat cameras in the media.
There is.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Might want to talk about that at a future meeting, and if the department has any.
Yeah, and we run that's something we can talk about.
Yep. And then membership dues, it's not a large amount of money, but did we have something that was unexpected there
I'm sorry, what was that?
on membership dues?
We did. So some of those get paid up front. And for the most part, we don't do a lot of membership stuff, but we had some different programs that we didn't think about. And one was the fire investigator program, and canine stuff got pushed in there. And I should have looked at that, could have went under supplies, but yeah, normally we don't do a lot of memberships.
Very good. Any questions?
Not for me.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 7. Discussion possible action regarding current Mountain Bay Metropolitan Police Department building project, building specifications regarding HVAC, BAS controls, networking systems, etc., bidding procedure, bidding timeline and submittals, furniture fixtures and equipment procurements, soft costs, construction costs.
Yeah, so Tom is on here from HTG. Matt is on here from Bolt. Dustin was going to jump in. He said, I can see him up there. Dustin has done a lot of work with the civil part of this, or changing that building around for design. Everything I've gotten, I forwarded to Jason and Hushang so they can stay up to par on everything that's here. And Tom had a list of some things to go through today. So Tom, do you want to start, or Matt, do you want to start?
I can start.
Tom, go ahead.
Yeah. maybe just to give you an overview of the timeline and kind of where we're at, right? So we've been working, I know Dustin and Amy have been working with Jennifer at the village on the planning submittal. So that's happening right now. We got those submittal in April, and I know it's working its way through that process here in May. And we are planning to have our drawings ready shortly after that, the very beginning of June. We're waiting to see if anything comes out of that review process with Weston to pick up in the drawings. But our plan would be to have the bid documents ready around June 1st. So, with that, do we want to dig into these questions, or do Jason and Husheng, do you want to review them and then or do you want to do it here?
I just have a question.
No, go ahead.
Now, what about the state? When you're gonna submit to state, or you don't have to,
For permitting,
right?
that would be with the bid documents, when the bid documents are done.
So how long they need?
Well, again, so, right now we're under contract to put the drawings together. We're not under contract to go any further than that at that point. And that was kind of question number 9, is kind of where are we with moving to the next phase of our contract, I guess. But I guess we were assuming that the permitting would be happening during the bidding and
Oh, that would be something Jennifer would have to tell me.
Do you know what's their time? How long it take them to prove it?
I don't, we've reached out to them, but we don't have an answer back yet, so.
Do they need to submit to state? I thought their sizing wouldn't require state approvals. That was 25.
Isn't 25,000 cubic?
I know it goes up a cubic, but I don't remember the
I
number.
think it's 25,000.
Tom, what is our size of the building with everything? Do you know that off the top of your head? Or Matt?
I think it's Amy's looking at the code plan probably. I think we're around 18,000. Does that sound right?
Over 25 estate, you're saying? We'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's cute.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's, but it,
What's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think we got the answer.
Some of the recent plans, at least from, I can speak from the village of Rothschild, you're looking at 8 to 10 weeks, at least some of the developments that we've been having.
Or even if we don't have to submit it, we should know that.
Yeah, but
I can plan it. Okay, we're done with it. We are not going to the state, then we just move on with life.
Mhm.
But if we have to go to the state, we gotta get ready for them and
Agree.
submit it.
Regarding, let's see, I'm looking at question number 9. Matt, that you're on here, we need to have an off-record conversation between myself, Chief Hunt, and Jamie about the current contract with Bolt back from November of 2024. And that'll help answer question number 9. We won't be able to provide a question or an answer to number 9 tonight.
Yeah, the only other thing I would add to that would be
Yes.
Dustin's contract, because Dustin's contract was separate from our contract, and I don't know where we're headed, into this next phase with his contract. So if that's going to stay separate, or if that would be added to our contract.
I think we can make that decision here. I'm totally fine with that contract being separate because it's nominal amount of coming in, and now there's, in terms of an administrative work, I think that's more than sufficient that we could handle directly with Freeland.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just voicing my opinion, but you guys obviously tell us if you guys see it differently.
Top down, just go through the questions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. So these are things that we just need to review as we're preparing, again, the drawings for bidding, for the public bidding, right? And so the first one, I think we talked about this last time, but just want to confirm, we want to have a pre-bid meeting and a site tour and have that available to bidders. Do we want to require that, or is that a non-mandatory event? That was the question.
I think it should be, Be putting in there whatever he can.
Yeah, I mean,
Because some of the question they have to make it the answer right there. The fellow is not there. He's gonna come back from his office and send the question.
typically though, they'd want to send the questions back anyway through the architect and not answer them on site, right? Because that way anybody who's looking at the project gets the same questions, same answers. So, I mean, I could go either way on this one. We usually do them if we're gonna have, like, if it's an existing building and there's something that we really need to see. This is it's dirt. So, I mean, it's
Tour of what?
it's up to the contractors to decide, what they, and they can go there and visit it, but the only other reason you would do a mandatory is so you know who your bidding contractors are, right? And you kind of have your list of who your GCs are that are going to be putting a number to it. So you kind of know ahead of time who's been looking at the project. So I go either way on it. If you want to do a mandatory, I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's going to hurt.
Jason, maybe just to piggyback, that kind of question number 2 is kind of tied to what you're saying, the pre-qualified. Is that required as well, that they're pre-qualified?
I think we already decided, right? We were gonna do pre-qualification based off of bonding. And so I don't know that, beyond that, if there's a contractor that comes in and says, we do 100 million a year and we're bonded up this amount, I don't know if there's a contractor that anybody's worked with that we're like, even if they're a reputable contractor, we're not gonna let them bid, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
It seems to me so, well, so what's the answer on that one, I guess?
I think the answer is as long as they meet the requirements, and I didn't read that part, but I know we talked about it in the specs about them being, in order to be pre-qualified, they had to be able to meet a certain threshold in bonding. And I
Okay,
think as long as they meet that requirement, we couldn't tell them not to bid a public job.
Which was 50%. So they have essentially twice or whatever let's say this is 7 million, so they have to have at least 14 million to bond.
Available bond capacity.
Yes. Yep.
okay.
Are they submitting financial statement too?
Well, I think those are part of the, I think we had sent you an outline of what the pre-qualifications would be that we could send out to people.
Would you want a financial statement? I mean, to see what financial strength they're at?
Yes.
I would recommend that.
And that would be submitted as part of the bid or before the bid?
Before the bid.
Or
Okay,
There may be, and that's not uncommon, especially in the private sector. It's a little bit uncommon in the public sector. There may be something that contractors will want either you provide or they provide to you, as far as obviously confidentiality with that, but just saying it's a little bit uncommon in the public sector to provide that, but I'm not here to say one way or the other.
okay. So it sounds to me like we will require them to be pre-qualified, but that the site visit would be optional.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Question number 3 was just wondering, does the village or the city have a project number or a contract number that we should be referencing? Do you have anything that you're using to track it? No, not at this point.
Could we assign one?
We might out of Quest, but not out of Evolve. It'll just have a project name. It'll be Mountain Bay Metro Building.
Okay, and that ties into question 4 with Quest. Is there someone at Weston that we should talk to about those fees for listing the project, or?
It's going to be Michael, and I'll send you his contact information.
Great, thank you, Jamie. How about desired construction schedule?
What do you mean, the time to finish a project?
Yeah, is there a due date? I think we said, Matt, what did we say, 12 to 14 months construction?
Yeah, 12 months is good.
12 months.
12 months is good.
Yeah, usually it's just a milestone. You define earliest by which you have everything in place to be able to start, right? I'll just pick a date. Hey, it's July 1. You could as early start as July 1, and obviously 12 months would be July of next year.
I think you leave yourself a little wiggle room in there because we still have a couple hurdles to cross. So I mean, if you're gonna pick
Yeah.
that date now, I don't think like a September 1st date would be unheard of, right? Or something around there, because now you're talking 14 months. You could be with everything that's going on right now. You don't even know if you'll run into problems with procurement of, air handlers right now are 20 weeks out. And like today, I just got notified, even for us, like is something as simple as glycol for the heating systems. Right now, with what's going on in Iran, it's not available. Can't get it. So I'd say give the contractors a little bit of wiggle room there.
Move it out to September 1st.
I think so.
14.
Okay.
Okay. And Chief Hunt, just confirming you're the point of contact for any questions, any better questions?
I think we should be that way, right?
Yeah, I think you should be the point of contact for anything related to the build. And I think that once we get to a point where we're doing on-site, like whether they're weekly or bi-weekly or whatever it looks like for job meetings, that's where we'll decide as a committee, maybe who can attend those. Cause like I could attend them or you could attend them, right? But I guess when we get to that point, then we'll bring that back through committee.
Sounds good. And then Jeremy, you can just direct it to whomever is the most appropriate, right, from there?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Would the most appropriate be the person that it would deem, I mean, to who? Who would you deem this to? I mean, Michael?
Well, right now, I think Michael, when this project gets closer, should probably be included on a lot of stuff. Even Tim, but it's not our area, it's your area.
Yeah, but
It would be Michael and everything I get, Husheng and Jason have been getting, because if they see a problem with something, they get to ask a question right away, and I don't have the expertise in it.
Communicate immediately. Yep.
Yeah.
So the minute you get it, share it. Yep.
Yep.
All right, good.
That's what has been happening and goes through email, and I understand how that is sometimes.
Mhm.
Maybe you just want to include Jen and
But
Michael.
confirmations that people are
Yeah.
I can do that.
seeing it. Yep. Okay. All right.
Question 7 is just asking about how you want to receive the bid and what should be included in that bid envelope.
So did we pick a date and time for, probably not, right, for return of bids?
No, not yet.
Okay. And we might almost not be able to do that yet with still a couple of these things hanging out there. But when we pick that date, it would be bid delivered by sealed bid to the village of Weston, right? By 3 o'clock on XYZ date, whatever that is.
Yeah, we're happy.
And you're gonna be looking for contractor insurance in there typically, and Matt, correct me if I'm missing something, but insurance, the contractor's bid, and then any bonds. That's
Yeah,
fine.
usually there's a bid bond, 5 or 10%, whatever you want to require, a blanket COI, certificate of insurance, your bid with, bid form with whatever breakouts, yeah. And maybe this will get answered too. I'm guessing there's a performance and payment bond requirement. It's not like a separate piece of paper like a bid bond is, but it's a separate cost that's included. I'm assuming, again, being a public entity, that's probably a given.
Yeah, I think last time we determined that that's accurate.
How long you gonna give them for bidding? 1 month, 30 days?
Yeah, end of June, we thinking, or mid-July?
I wouldn't say any longer than 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah, end of June.
Is
June
required.
1 and June.
June is good.
3 to 4 weeks, yeah.
Yep.
You waste a whole week on 4th of July.
Nobody looks at until the end of the bid cycle anyway.
Yeah.
They wait till 4 days before it's due.
Yes.
The car.
And question 8 was really just asking, is there a legal counsel someone that will be reviewing the wording in these documents or?
Council would be Lee, so that's, should go to Lee.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's an important step, right? And I mean, we talked about performance and payment bond, but there'll be, for a certificate of insurance, there might be certain insurance limitations, different language, payment terms or stipulations. I mean, all those little things will be, if they're figured out now, that won't set you up for situations later where somebody says, hey, I didn't know this, and now you gotta pay me more, pay me faster, whatever it might be.
Trony, right?
You have to
Say
speak.
Trony? Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
What's his
Yeah.
last name?
Trony.
Tony?
Trony.
So this stuff.
Best you can, the best you can.
Okay.
Something with Italian or spaghetti or something like that. Yeah.
That'll be.
Trony with a T.
Tony.
I went TIORINIO, so.
True.
Well, Tom, I think that answers the 1 through 8, and then we'll get back to you after talking with
Nine.
Matt on number 9.
Yep, okay.
Good.
Great. Can someone will send me Lee's contact info as well, or should
Well,
I?
I'll take care of that, Tom.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
Very
you.
good. All right. Good.
We got a couple more, okay?
Yeah, moving on to.
No, 9 was gonna get, you guys
Hold
are,
on once. Oh, okay, go ahead.
yeah, 8 was just done, and then 9, you guys are gonna talk.
Did I run any emotion at all? 7.
I didn't know, do I want to wait till it's all done or just on that one?
You don't have to have a motion, I'm just.
Not really.
Okay.
Wait till it's done.
Sounds good.
Moving on to, Chief, you want to talk about the other?
Excuse me,
Oh,
I have
go
one
ahead.
question. Tom?
Mhm.
After the bid opening, when can we have the bid tab?
Still here?
Thumbs up.
Yeah. So, well, I want to back up just one. We were going to do a public opening, right? So we'll have them do, and we'll have a meeting. We'll open that up, right?
You'll have a bid
Yeah.
tab
I
that
think-
day. You'll have it there.
Yeah, motion.
Because we need a bid tab for the board members before they even approve the bid.
So we're gonna do a public opening. So we do a public
Yeah.
opening, we'll
Right.
bid tab that day. Right at 3, if we say bids are delivered by
That's
3.
fine, yeah, we can do
It'll
it, yeah.
be open bids at 3:15. And typically when I do them, the public ones, I open the first one, I take their base amount and I put it right up on the screen so everybody can see it and I go right down the line.
Yeah, okay, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Good.
We can do that if we're gonna collect the bids, we'll do that in the boardroom at the Weston's Municipal Center.
Who does that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Any other discussion on these bullet points?
I don't think so.
Seeing none?
That's great.
We went through 8, and then 9 is separate. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted, Dustin's online here. Dustin, I grabbed you and asked you to come. Do you have anything that you want to add or anything that has come up that needs to be answered on any of your stuff?
No, not right now. I think me and you kind of talked it out what I needed to add. So I think that's all I have for right now.
And just for everyone's sake here, you've been contacting back and forth with Jessica from Weston,
Jennifer.
and sorry, and got everything submitted to her, what she needed, right?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't have a lot of questions for you, so thank you.
No problem.
I just want to add one thing before we get off the building part of this is there's been a flyer that's been created here. Everybody get a copy of it. We're trying to do more informational stuff on the building. This is a draft. If anybody has any suggestions or additions. So Ryan and Jamie have both gone through it and made some changes to it. So just trying to get information out there for people so it explains some of it. So
the goal then to get this on both municipals' websites and then.
Yeah, there's some additional information that after working with Jeremy, is with him initiating it, there's some additional information that has to come out from it yet. I think the Village of Weston, we're going to need some additional information as well. I know Jamie's working through it then yes, the goal would be exactly to get it out there. It's a lot of the FAQs, kind of like we did when the merger came together. So 2 years ago, when there was a lot of, I'm going to say hubbub right on social media, of what is happening? Oh my gosh. And, things are, holy cow. And I think this kind of is just, I'm going to say more of a calming document of, okay, here's your bullet points. Here's the facts behind it. Here's the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And I think it's going to answer a lot of, I'm going to say the problems or the misinformation. I think a lot of us in this room have heard about it. And so that's kind of the goal behind it, is to just get out there, understand, hey, this is why we're doing it. And here's kind of the budgetary aspect. You can see how it actually is a cost savings to it or through the whole project. And then with the building portion, this is where Weston will have a total too, but it talks about, exactly what it's doing to every threshold of any home within that community. So every taxpayer has a very transparent understanding of what this looks like. So it's just black and white.
Yep.
There's no surprises.
I like it.
And again, just
Go ahead.
one different part about this entire building project proposal from what we've seen, I think, from other public sector projects, is this is going to be fully supported by the PD. Meaning, even though, yes, the municipalities are borrowing, or we're going to ask them to go for a borrow, and those taxpayers are paying that from that pot, right? That budgeted amount that the PD is getting is still going to be paying that back, that debt service. That's a little bit different from like how Riverside Fire District is set up, where that's kind of, it's two in and of one, right? So you've got Riverside Fire District, they had a building that was put up, and that's above and beyond what the contributions are being had by the taxpayer. Here, the taxpayer is benefiting because that police department, through their own budget, will replenish or reimburse what was borrowed. It will take longer than 20 years. We're going to borrow, if everything goes well, the intent is to borrow for a 20-year bond, right? And it'll probably take, I'll be honest, it's probably going to take 40 or 45 years to have that paid back, because we just don't have the capital coming from the actual fund or the budget that's coming from Mountain Bay. But that's just the hypothetical, and that's what this is intending to do, so that the taxpayer can understand, here's what's happening, here's how kind of that process would look, and work through it. So it's in draft form. There's still things that I definitely need to be worked out through it, but the intent is, yes, to get it on our websites, get it out to the public, and that way then they know that, okay, here's what's happening, and here's kind of the root cause behind it. And I think that's what Chief Hunt really has been focusing on, so that everybody's on the same page, and we're all moving together on the same train ride.
I think it's a very informative, to the point, and then the thing I like about it the best, it lays it out to a resident. What is going to be the cost? And if you look at it, Ryan and Chief did an excellent job, Jamie. But if, for example, you go through if you had a $300,000 home, you want to share that, Ryan, or should I?
It's just in draft. This is just for Rothschild. Weston will have their own too, but again, you're going to take your assessed value of whatever is on your tax bill, and that way then you can calculate it out. And I think that will help on a lot of people. Just, okay, I can actually, it's tangible, because I'm a tangible person. So I gotta see it. Yeah, I gotta be able to, okay, I can understand where that's coming from. So
One thing I would suggest, and this is great, it's a lot of information. Most people don't read 4 pages. They just don't. And so if you could do like a 1-pager with a couple of bullet points for just kind of ease of, I think, pick out what the priorities are, right?
Sure.
Because
Jason's right. They want to read what they want to read.
yeah,
This last page, where unlike other capital, I would 3 times the font on that, and I would do that twice. I'd put that up front. That should be one of the first things said, that this is an unusual project, that it's getting paid back by the police department. And then at the end, I'd follow up and do it again. But he's right. They're only going to want to read what they want to read. And so we have to highlight the really big positives of it getting paid back. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Jason.
you're fine.
Yeah, I'm open to if you guys have suggestions too. I think that's one thing that we've collectively had a hard time with, because there's just a lot of information that you want to be able to give to the individual. And I get it. There's a lot of people that, 4 pages, this is going to be a fire starter for Friday night. I get that. But I think we're trying to figure out whatever we can to offer the most amount of information right there. So yes, we'll certainly work on that and try to get it more succinct.
Go ahead.
Well, I think you should do both, frankly, because I think there are people out there that want that much detail.
me being one of them, like I'm that person out in the community who wants to read that, but I also agree. A different document that just has some bullet points on it that you can just capture somebody and then direct them to, if you want more information, here's the bigger picture. I think that would be great.
The building is very common sense looking. It's not extravagant, it's not wild, it's not architecturally crazy. And I'm sure you had to probably rein in the architect to keep on getting it to this point, but I think it looks fantastic. I do, it looks solid, it looks tough. So, yeah.
Good. Anything else? Any further discussion? Moving on to agenda item number 8.
One thing we done, if you guys want to hop off, that's great. Thanks for coming and I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So it's important to touch on day-to-day operations again. It's always a good thing. We talked a lot about the structure of the department in the past. We got some changes that happened here in the recent weeks, and Nick is just going to go through and touch on some of those things here.
Very good.
So regarding staffing and structure, we've had 2 promotions since the last meeting. Seth Weber and Mac Bober, who were both hired in 22, were hired or promoted to sergeant. The promotions take effect May 4th. Regarding our hiring process, we have a gentleman with 4 years of experience who is starting this upcoming Monday on the 27th. We have someone who we're sponsoring through NTC here in Wausau. He will start on patrol with us on May 26th. And then we have a third individual who we are sponsoring through NWTC in Green Bay. He will start there June 25th and graduate November 6th. Then regarding some equipment, we sold 3 vehicles recently. A 2020 Ford Explorer, a 2021 Ford Explorer, and a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Both Ford Explorers had right around 113,000 miles. One had over 19,000 engine run hours on it. The other had over 15,000. Both had future needs that would have cost us a significant amount of money. So I did.
I just want to add one point. When you're talking 19,000 run hours, I just did the math here, 24 hours in a day, it's running for 797 days straight, so 2.18 years. So that's a lot of time on a car.
It's a lot of miles too. If you equate it to actually running.
Right.
I know it's running because of computers. You don't want to turn them off and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's somewhere around 600,000 miles. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So those were sold. We had purchased using donated funds for the canine, 2 vehicles for our dogs. They're currently at Belco being built, which now those have kind of replaced the 2 vehicles that were sold. We are in the process of purchasing another car for the fleet to make up for some of the vehicles that we've lost. With the sale of all 3 vehicles, we raised about $17,550. And then regarding computers, working with City County IT, we've learned that there's some instability with purchasing computers and the prices. We asked for a quote. The very next day, we said, we'll buy them. And they went from being in stock at less than $1,000 a computer to going up 20% in cost, and we couldn't get it right away. We were told that's because of AI and data centers that are being built all around, which is affecting supply. We were able to purchase 3 desktop computers and 3 FZ56, which is the most recent model of laptop for our squad cars. So that way we can replace some older stuff and make sure that we have good working equipment. We also received 2 canine first aid kits that were donated from Vesta Dog. And then we had 2 flock cameras that were just installed this week. One is on Schofield Avenue near Municipal Street in Weston. The other is on Grand Avenue by the bridge in Schofield. If anybody has any questions, I don't know if this is something for a different meeting or if we want to talk about it now regarding flock cameras, but I think there's also some misperceptions on flock cameras. There's major concerns about invasion of privacy, but what flock cameras actually do, when vehicles drive past, we aren't sitting, monitoring every vehicle where everybody's going. If a vehicle is entered stolen, or we have someone who was involved in a homicide or a major theft from Target, and we enter their plate, it'll pop up on a camera. We're notified, so we can go to an area and possibly apprehend someone. An example of that, in the town of Weston, we had a burglary to residence, a firearm was stolen. The person fled the residence. A plate was obtained. It was entered into flock. The sheriff's office located it on flock. Vehicle was stopped later that night. Firearms were recovered, solved other burglaries. So that's what flock does.
And there's some.
I think we should maybe have a conversation at a future meeting. I'm not opposed to flock. I just bring this up because there has been a lot in the media. And if the committee members are presented with these questions, I think it's important that they have good
But
responses.
most of it is internal abuse from departments. It's internal abuse by individuals that want to watch an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. And it's ridiculous. That's the stuff I've read. The other stuff about the owner and worldwide and, on the moon and stuff, that's crazy.
It needs to be an agenda item.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's good.
And I think it should be open. I don't think it should be, you're not talking close.
No, just our use of flock and why we think it's important. And I think the other piece is that, this is a privately owned company. This isn't, the data is not held by us.
Well,
We experienced that this year when they said if we didn't renew the contract, we didn't get access to all flock cameras. We only got access to our flock camera. So I think that those are just things we should.
we'll make it as an agenda item for the next meeting.
Very good. Okay, anything else?
Rest of it.
Moving on to agenda item number 9.
Okay.
Does he have anything else for your update?
Oh, any questions on anything? No.
Nope.
Good report.
Thank you.
Any announcements, statements from the oversight board?
Not for me.
Anybody?
Just,
Remarks?
it's still,
Oh, no, yes, I do. Welcome, Katrina Clark.
Yes.
And
Welcome, Katrina.
I think you're going to do outstanding here.
Yeah.
And, yep,
Very good.
good.
I think usually when we open the bid, we write the number, we make a bid tab, and whoever is the lowest bidder, we make sure he's the lowest qualified bidder. The only way you can do it to take a look at his document, check his financial statement, check his performance on other project, then make a recommendation. I don't think architect can make a recommendation. We go with the lowest bidder. He can say that individual is the lowest bidder, but I don't think we should award the contract.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think we award that night. Typically, we wait until we get all that back, and it might take a week, right? before we
Right.
Get all that information, but a lot of times you can send them just a simple one pager saying that the intent is, right, you're gonna move forward, providing all their financials and bonds and everything come back okay. So.
Correct.
I thought we had said 60 days too.
This is only during the announcements
Sorry.
statements.
Okay, anything else other than that?
I just have one other,
Go ahead.
when it comes to this project in general, I do think that at some point here, we should probably sit down and just talk through what contingency looks like if it comes in over budget, because it very well could happen. And so then where are we at and what are we gonna do, right? And so I'd rather get ahead of that than wait for bid day and it comes in and then we're, okay, now what? So I don't know, maybe we talk through that at the next step, make it an agenda item and see what our options are.
I think by moving that.
Remarks only, remarks only. This can't be discussion.
No,
It's not this,
Okay,
just,
all right, remarks only.
just by moving the structure, we save few dollars, quite a few dollars.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
All right. Agenda item number 10, set
Katrina?
date,
Anything for Katrina? Okay. Sorry.
set date, time, and agenda items for this, to discuss at next meeting.
so right now, if we wanted to do the third Thursday, it would be May 21st at 3:30.
Mhm.
Right now, we would have the flock camera discussions. And if you wanted the additional building talk, that will be on there as well.
Building should stay on forever.
Yes.
Okay,
Building.
anything
Very good.
else at the moment that you,
So third Thursday, you said?
Yeah,
21st.
21st, got it.
At 3:30.
Yep.
Very good.
Be on vacation, 21st and 27th.
okay, and no zooming,
At 3:30.
Maybe,
maybe, depending. What did it?
yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Depending on where you
I
are,
think we'll be fine.
yeah, just keep me posted.
we should be good.
Don't change your schedule because of it.
My son's been for 1 week out of college and that's his week, so
You're
I'm
good.
taking him fishing, so.
Okay.
Good. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
No second?
Second.
Moved by Maloney, second by Jablonski. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned.
We have to sign?